Hello and welcome once again to What's Going On. I'm Arcturus and we are here on the Forerunners server bringing you the latest in what's going on in Watcher of Realms. As ever, this is a community-based podcast and please do get involved down in the comments section, like and subscribe and share with your guildmates because it really does help the channel. We have been growing recently. We are heading up towards 500 subscribers, which is my goal for May. And if we do get there, I might put my hand in my pocket and hand out some W gold. But we've got to make some progress first because it's still a long way off. Right, as ever, I'm joined by Sebastian Keynes, who's joined me again to talk about what's going on. Sebastian, how are you doing?
I don't know. You tell me. I haven't had a lot of Watcher of Realms time lately. There is. I don't know if anybody understands what's going on in the United States, but it's hitting everywhere. So there's definitely things that I have had to take care of, occupation-wise. Excuse me. So yeah, it's been a hectic week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't delve too much into politics in this podcast, but I mean it is a big thing. I mean, global tariffs of this magnitude are going to have an impact on everything, especially when they are so aggressive that people are going to they're going to cause people to stop and talk about it. And it's the last I heard that things are kind of back down a little, with the exception of one country, and those still seem to be in place and look to be in place for some time. Now, whether that will have an impact on the game going forward, we don't know. They are certainly trying to do something they've not done like since game launch. And they're trying to do a bit of a marketing. Now, this might be linked to the push and the release of the Watcher of Realms US app in both the Android and iOS stores, and they're just, I think, or trying to draw people back into the game after they've potentially dropped out because of the January 19th issues, and yeah. They came out with a video, and I put it this way: I was at a under 12s drama class last Friday, and they did a better job of acting than the people who were paid to do it in this video. Okay, so they released this cringe-worthy video to try and draw people back into the game.
They think we forgot. No, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming. Ain't no fake news, babe.
It's actually happening.
Forces beyond our understanding is altering fundamental rules.
Well, that's what they mean by ultimate reward season. Best damn financial crime I've ever seen.
Servers. They're not crashing, they're overriding reality.
Okay.
Welcome to Watcher of Realms Ultimate Reward Season. Immerse yourself in epic in-game events and unlock free gifts. But that's not all. Invite your friends to join the website event and earn incredible bonuses. Prepare for battle and make your adventure legendary in this next-gen fantasy RPG. Download Watcher of Realms for free now.
Well, what did you think of that?
I mean, the production quality of that is just like a very well timed out release website without any bugs. There is no question about it. It is interesting. I was looking to see if there was any hints in the graphics of what may be coming up, but everything just seemed to be repetitive events, right, that we've had in the past. So I saw Kigiri and
there's Kigiri. Twyla's shown in there, but we already know that Twyla's coming. They announced that in the updates that was on Global a few weeks ago. They said this is the list of things. Destin did a video on it. There's official leaks of upcoming summon events. So yeah, it's
So
was
I
interesting.
saw that one of the new heroes is actually the banner has been announced. I decided to cover Marlek first, and his banner hasn't been announced yet. But I'm assuming that it's going to be probably after all of these come out yet. But yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how everything plays out in terms of their roadmap, and I'm glad that they're doing this. You know, so we don't have to have data miners try to give us hint of what's coming. At least we have an idea now 3 weeks in advance, 4 weeks in advance as to what may be coming down the pipeline. But this whole website thing, I'm just right now trying to catch up to it. At least I found out that you really can only use one code. So I don't know how many other people are going to start using my code over others type of deals. So I'm not expecting too much from this. But like I was telling Arturos before we started recording, the winner is going to be a bot or somebody that has very good bots running all the stuff for them. So we'll see. I hope that they thought about this before they implemented it, but I doubt that they did.
No, I mean, it is what it is, and apologies if Sebastian drops off screen. There is a function of OBS where if I go to a website while I'm talking to him in Discord, it kicks us out and I can't see him on screen. But basically, it is a website. They're obviously trying to drive some people back into the game. You can invite one player, and if you manage to do that 10 times, you get a rare summon crystal. If you do it 15 times, you can draw a scratch card. You get access to a scratch card, and that allows you to get things, including unpolished legendary soulstones. So if you can do it, it's nice. But the person who's got 461 invites, I say this, I'm completely ungrounded, but probably highly likely someone is creating alt accounts and inviting them. It's probably the only way you can have that high. And it doesn't take long to create an alt account.
No. And if you're using emulators, depending on your system, you can run multi instances of them, and you can just have them go and go and go. And then essentially what you do is you wipe the data from the app and then just repeat the process again. And that's how you essentially bot. So all these accounts that in the end is going to look great for numbers when it comes for Skystone, right? Because Skystone is here now in the United States. All those numbers had to be restarted again, right? Especially with the changing publisher. So they have to make it as if this is a hot game. So I understand what they're doing and how they're trying to do it. So, hey, other games do it. I can't fault them for it.
Yeah, and I mean, to me, it's probably more real than grabbing a list of content creators who haven't even touched the game, haven't covered the game, and having them do a face-off with rewards, which is what they did at launch. Because there were people who I knew from the fact I followed them weren't covering Watcher of Realms at launch. And they were in this web event they did at launch, and that kind of felt really forced and fake. Whereas this, okay, it's completely ruined by bots who are trashing the event, but I mean, at least there's it feels more real.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your frustration with it, but this I when somebody told me that this was all dependent on codes from new accounts, I automatically thought about the raid days where people were just botting new accounts so you can then get all these specialized stuff that came along with it. So it's not a surprise. That's how you inflate numbers. So that's essentially what they're going to try to do here. And that's step one, at least in the registration side, in terms of the analytics. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to count on any of these rewards because I mean, the likelihood that I can get new people to participate in this is going to be minimal, right? And from my end, because they may have already been picking other content creators' codes or their guildmates' codes or something to help somebody out. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm not. If this is how they want to give out free rewards instead of rewarding you for actually spending time in the game, then be it. But they had to think that there was going to be a way to get around this, and so this is what I was telling you. Good idea, bad implementation again, and this is just it seems to be a pattern with Moonton. We can't get away from it, so they half-ass things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you can get to somehow do manage to get to 15 and you get a draw, I mean, there are some nice rewards on there. There's the unpolished legendary soulstone, legendary summon crystals, legendary skill crystals, rare summon crystals, shards. Well, shards of recasting hammers sucks. They could have just been a full recasting hammer. Huge stamina potions, small stamina potions, gold, and hero experience. Most people, if they get it, are probably going to get hero experience. Those of them are going to be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polished soulstone is probably like 0.1% chance to get it, but I'm assuming that there are going to be like 3 or 4 people that yell out, "Hey, I got one!"
Yeah. So the next thing that's also on this website is you can develop the Yimerit egg from embryo by doing activities within game. Now the list of activities you can do is a little bit random and arbitrary because you've got access to you can do campaign stages or void drift stages and you'll get 10 points. You can summon for specific heroes, so you'll get more points if you pull an Anora or a Yimerit Valderon, and then you can get 9 points just by following their 12 points just by following all of their socials. You don't even have to do anything like just click the button and go back and you'll get the points. And then you get daily login there as well. Yeah.
Now, this I like better. This I like better than invitation and having, depending on how many people you're able to get into the game type of deal.
Yeah.
Because this one's actually recording stuff in game.
It is, but it already seems to have been sort of somehow manipulated because the people who are hitting the top have got 2,810 points, and so either they are multi-instancing, either they're like speed running stage 1-1, which is the quickest stage to do because you can get 10 points for that. Or they're summoning a ridiculous amount now and they're just wailing their way through it. But I don't know, there's something that just seems so odd when someone is so far ahead at such an early stage that it feels like someone's manipulating it.
I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is.
Well, I'm kind of hoping. I'm hopeful. I have no evidence of this that there are going to be rewards as you level up the dragon. So as you go from egg to whatever, juvenile to whatever, that you might get some rewards along the way. This is just me being hopeful. This is me thinking, come on, Moonton, got to give us something, because otherwise only the top 10 people get something out of this, and that, top 50 people get something out. Especially considering looking at the selection of rewards, they're not encouraging enough to get people to do it otherwise. The top one's interesting, but everything else is kind of meh.
I think from my point, from where I'm standing these days, is a lot of people have perceived that I've been very critical about Moonton's decision with the game lately, and so I want to pick my battles. And so for this one, I'm just gonna let this one go. I'm sorry, Arturos, but I'm just gonna let this one go and let it play out. And then if people get upset by it, that's fine. But we already know websites are not their thing. So anytime something pops up into a website, I'm not expecting it to work. And clearly, you have just shown me here from catching up with you that this is not working as they intended it to work. So it's Moonton to see this. It does not surprise me. But in terms of setting expectations, a website is not where I'm going to really pick at them for this. But yeah, I understand where you're coming from. And when you first told me about it, I was like, it's going to be a bot race. It's who has the better bots, essentially.
Yeah, I've not tried running stage 1-1, but I might run a couple of runs later to see if it does actually boost my score at all. But other than that, I'm happy just to sort of like participate and see if I get anything along the way. 10p. I mean, I will put my invite code down below if you haven't used it. I did post it on my channel, but honestly, 10 people have been kind enough to use it. I've got my 13, 14 summons out of it. That was very kind. And I'm unfortunately only able to use one invite, except want to use someone else's code once. So I've used it. I can't then use it for someone else. But
yeah,
it's it's a little bit frustrating on that side. But if you do have the time and you really are interested, I'm sure there are ways. But as we've said, there are ways to do this with multi-instancing emulator, speedrunner. Certainly possible. Okay,
now,
so
they have said that they're going to be giving a lot of rewards through the event in game as well, right? Didn't I see something about 28 engines or something like that? This is not part of that, is it?
I don't think so. But right, there's one other thing that's kind of mentioned on this website. I will just scroll back up and show you. So just a moment, and they have kind of mentioned about it on Discord a little bit. Website. There we go. Scroll up a tiny bit. There we go. Right. Here we go. IP crossover future events coming. So yeah, there's definitely things on the horizon. Sorry, I'm just having to get this up on my phone as well because I can actually see things. IP crossover offline event. And exciting all new features. So there's definitely more content coming along the way, and we'll just have to see what that is.
But it's good.
Yeah, I mean, the IP event seems to be encouraging people to generate ideas for merchandise. They were suggesting things like tote bags and t-shirts and mugs. So far, the only things I've seen are some AI images of suggesting creation of figurines, which pretty cringe at the moment, but I'm sure others will come along the way. There are some very talented artists in the community, and this is an opportunity for some of them to get some recognition. Hopefully, the humans win over the AI on this one, but AI art is incredibly popular, so we'll see what comes out.
All right. Well, if Muntan is listening to this and they want to send something to content creators, I do collect mugs, so feel free to send me one. Just make sure it looks good.
A mug at every desk in your office, right?
Every mug that I have is going to be prone to have coffee at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so that was kind of the web event that's on at the moment and the cringe acting that was associated with it. I will put a link to the video so you can enjoy and cringe it to yourself in your own time. But right, so there we go. Back to the game now. Back to the actual fun stuff that we have going on. We've had another patch arrive on the Forerunners server, and it's got some interesting things in it. So Anora is obviously she's coming again. Her banner starts on the 17th, and it's going to be in this place for I think it's about 5 days. and they reduced her cost. One of the big complaints about Anora was the fact that she was 22 cost in comparison to a lot of the other AoE mages, and so this kind of brings it into parity. So that's a really nice quality of life change, I think.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. Okay, so I'll let you go over what they actually changed about her. But here's the thing: when I covered this, my overall analysis was that the developers have already painted themselves into a corner now with having limited heroes that are overpowered, right? Especially with the last cycle 3 that we just had. All right. So in order for them to be able to bring back all the other ones that we had prior to them, they have to buff them, or they have to make them better than they are in the original form, or people are not going to be too excited about really going for them. All right. So they had to be something to entice people to go for Awakenings if they already have her, or to actually decide to spend the 200, right, to go for her. And so that makes sense to me, that we're going to see this again, and then there's going to start power creep, or they're going to at least try to get them cut up to some sense of a power creep. All right. But eventually, what's going to happen too is that then, because they are power creeping the limited heroes, they're going to leave the OGs behind. So we just had a rework, for example, for Calypso. Now, if you're going to start again buffing all these other units, Calypso is going to be left behind again. So this is what we're saying, that elemental wise, when it comes to heroes, they have done a poor job. They put themselves into this corner, and now everything is about, if you really want to be at the top of the end game, it's all about you really having right now 3 heroes that are 8-3 or above in your roster, and that is a shame. That's the decision that they made.
No, it's very true. There's, I mean, I don't have a highly awakened Kigiri. I am really struggling in Abyss, and I know that from seeing people that once you get to that A3 level and he starts getting that bonus damage when he's doing his strikes, that really makes a damage to what he can do, and it makes bringing down those shields a lot easier. In fact, the Abyss guide that they published on War Official the other day included Kigiri as one of the units to use to bring down the shield. It's like, seriously, you've got to kind of. This is a game that requires balance. You can't just say, "Oh, here's a hero who was available once." Some of you only got him A0, and by the way, you've probably not got any unpolished soulstones unless you're one of the blessed accounts there they drop every week. Some guy, I saw some guy post from the Dragon Slayers 1 global account who got 2. He got one from like Nightmare 3, and he got one from the Abyss 1. So some people get loads. I get hardly any, and it really does piss me off, and I do bring it up all the time. But there is a real unfairness in how they're distributed, and it does mean that the players hurt more, and it will drive people away from the game, especially if they're not big spenders.
Yeah, that I mean, it's it could either turn off a player, or if they have a set. Okay, so here's the other thing: if many players go through this, right? If they have a sense that they've reached their limit, even though that there is still more that they can do, right? If they have a sense that they've reached their limit, that's when their game time starts diminishing, right? And if there's a shiny thing that comes out, they want to try it, that's where they go. So that is something that I'm noticing here a lot lately, especially in global, especially when we're in clusters, because you have some people saying, okay, this is going to probably be what I can reach or what I can get. So I'm either going to go to a guild where it's not a lot of expectations and I can just play casually while I go and then play another game. Or most of their time, they're going to be paying into the other game. So this is what I was telling you the last time that we spoke, or when Mike was on with us, is they're having a problem with this balance thing right now. So it's one of those things where people are crying, we want new content, or we want content that is not dependent on heroes, but then they're making you be dependent on another hero. And people are learning this in Arena right now, right? Whereas, okay, so you didn't want it to be an Ingrid Purdy's, where everything was Ingrid Purdy's, but now you're finding out what we were telling you. In single target is Valderon. You're gonna have a bigger chance to win there. If is AoE, is either going to be some kind of combination with Ingrid. I saw Destin here. He thinks that there's a chaotic formation that he can put together that can outpace an Ingrid, apparently. But I didn't see him go all the way through the rounds 8 and 9, which is where they can probably get run if they're not ready for it, right? So I think that from what I was seeing is Ingrid is still at the top there. There were some combinations of previous Ingrids that you can do. And then, of course, in anti-air, it started leaning a little bit more towards the piercers, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, well, if you don't have Io or Aracha, oops, you're going to have to hang out on Plat 3 for a while. So, yeah. Hey, so it's, again, this is what I was saying. They're having a hard time balancing this stuff. But, so going back to now the hero in Anora here. Everything with her and her changes screams that's a summoner mechanic. They want to make something out of it. Is it the Tower of Deception that we're going to see this, or is there something else? Or are they saying maybe you can use this for AoE Arena, which I haven't seen anything practical come out yet, right? And I don't know how Beatrix is behaving with her remodified version either. So all of this we have to go look at and see how it's working. But at least in this regard, it's more of a summoner buff than an Anora buff, at least from what I read it. So
we will get to Beatrix, and if you'll permit me, I'll briefly gear her, and we'll take her into the promotion mage stage, because there you get to see her against Kriya, against Anora, and how the three of them work as summoners in that environment. And I think it's really interesting to see it, and I think Beatrix has really now got some potential. But we will come to Beatrix. Right now we're talking about Anora. Okay, so they've changed the talent. So the ancient stack has reduced from Ancient Spirits cap has reduced to 6. So previously it was 1% per stack, and now it's gone to 3% per stack. So that's actually a buff from 15% to 18%, because each stack of Ancient Spirit was 1% previously, it's now 3%. So 3% stack increase on Labor's damage each time. And let me get this right. I think it's an allied summon dies. Ancient Spirits. Upon the death of an allied summon, Labor gains 1 stack of Ancient Spirit. So the people who are really going to boost her in this case are going to be the Zaris. Obviously, he's very fast-paced, and he burns through his summons very quickly. Beatrix is another one whose summons appear for a while, do their damage, and disappear. Let's just jump into the tags and see where this who comes up as a summoner.
Well, within the faction, it was Saris, Kriya, and Beatrix should be the top, right?
Yeah. And obviously now she's got because she's an East Terracist, Navras does come under that as well. But honestly, I'd say that I should technically be there as well, because she does summon bombs, and her description says summon 1 bomb. So I'd say there's arguments there to be had on descriptions, but that is what it is.
I think with is when I asked is that they told me it's like she places them. It's not like a summon, like she's bringing them from another plane. I think that they need to change it, like you say, yeah. But it's with her mechanic, it's more about placing them. Like she's throwing them out. It's so.
But then you've got other summoners who so for example, we talked about Calypso. She summons soul stones that go around her head. But I mean, okay, they don't die, but they are a summon because they weren't there and then they're there, so they're summoned. Same with Praetus's little candle fates that go behind his head. They are summoned. They need a better translator.
It's a terminology issue right now. Yeah, exactly. They need a better translator.
Okay. Right. What else do we have here? So that's the main one. The worm dive. So now, previously, for some reason, best known to themselves, when they extended range for the ultimate, they didn't extend Labor's range. He maintained the original attack range, which is a bit of a weird one. But anyway, they've now fixed that. He now has the same attack range as her when during the ultimate, so that's a nice fix. And the next one is that the Awakened 1 has been changed, and they've changed the duration of the immobilized state. It now lasts 2 seconds rather than 1 second. So, a nice bit. A nice bit of buffing to her kit, provides a bit more control to her kit. Definitely is going to make her more viable in lots. But especially bringing down her cost. I think it's going to make her quite good in AoE Arena. She's not the sort of flavor of the month at the moment, but the fact that her ultimate range is the same Karma A3 range that caused so many people so much trouble in previous iterations of AoE Arena, I think there's definitely some potential.
It might not be the flavor, but I mean, she's still getting a lot of utility in GvG type of scenarios as well. So, but I do think that the new Demon Soldiers and how the maps are getting laid out, I think she might get a little bit more play. We'll see how all of this pans out, but yeah, they had to improve her a little bit just to make her enticing for the limited event that is coming up. So
right,
we'll see. And there's a skin for her that I saw. So the skin that the Chinese server got, now we're getting as well, right?
Yeah. So there's the Chinese New Year skin coming that was released on the Asian servers. That's now being made available. That's going to be available through the event, I believe. So that's not going to be a paid for skin, which is nice because a lot of the packs for the last couple of skin packs have been a bit overpriced for what they were. And I think and certainly I'm not buying the Yimmerik skin. $40 for a skin for a digital asset for a game just seems a bit pricey for me. But it does look cool.
This is the part where you say if anybody wants to gift you a skin,
absolutely, please. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants to gift me, I don't have Yimmerik, but I mean, go by all means, gift me the skin. I would love to get Yimmerik. He would make my Anora stronger, who I've actually invested my skill crystals into. So yeah, I would love to see that, to have that. That golden dragon does look really impressive. Anyway, yeah, $40 for a skin is too much. So next up, there's lots going on with that event. We'll jump to the events in a second and have a quick chat about those. Next up, Beelzebub has a new talent. He basically adds some healing if he's in a cultist team. So this is going to have some potential for I think, GvG team more than anything else. Because I can't really see how to place him effectively on a AoE Arena team that would impact the enemies while keeping your allies in healing range of because his range is slightly weird. The placement tower that they have is over to one side, so you can't cover the central platform, and that means that if he's on there, then he can't heal anyone, and if you're trying to place everyone in the middle, then everyone's clustered up on the corner, and they're going to get exploded when things start popping. So I'd say it's more GvG than anything else. So I think there's some maybe extra bonus healing there, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
his
an odd
changes
one.
were. It's a little bit more CC, right? And there's a healing effect, or I'm remembering this wrong?
There is damage reduction on his corrupted swarm. It grants AoE damage reduction to cultist allies in range, and that's it. Basic attack and Plague of Ruin restore HP equal to 50% of the hero's attack. Oh no, of the cultist. 50% attack to the cultist ally in the attack range. Given that his attack damage is basically Dolores, and you can load him up with attack, it's still not going to be massive. So you're probably looking at maybe 8,000 healing at most. And that's going for a sort of Dolores style build, and you're getting to 15k on him. So it's not going to be game changing. It might save someone from one hit, but it's not going to save them from 2 hits.
It might save Malvira from 1 extra hit, right? Or give her enough time to build those resentment stacks. But no, yeah, it's a minor tweak. So we'll take it. I don't see any downside from it.
No, I don't. I mean, that AoE damage reduction is really nice. It was going to be another unit who you can use in Abyss 1. So that, but you've got to have him quite awakened to get corrupted swarms. That's his ultimate. So again, that's quite a limited use there. So if it's only during his ultimate for 22 seconds, that's not enough to save you with everything else that's going on. So
do you remember when he first came out and I had a chance to test him, and I said if people use him as a regular mage, they're going to be disappointed, but if you're already using him like Dursa, then you're going to have a complement to that, or if you don't have Dursa, he's going to fill in the void. And it's funny that now it's came into play it out that these two are almost alike now with the damage reduction and the slow and everything. It's just it's weird how they
Dursa is so good now. I really want to get him because he is so good.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's that it was all this interplay, and then Beelzebub was a little bit better when it then came to comparison to Dursa. They modified Dursa. Now he's the better one, and now they say, now let's bump up Bubba a little bit, just a tad, right? So we'll make him worth it as a rare from a rare crystal, but still Dursa is the top with the ancient crystals. So yeah, but yeah, it's funny, like these two is just so comparable now. Mm-hmm. Except for the ranges. The ranges are different. The mechanics might be a little bit different, but essentially it's like you have 2 very good support mages now in the game. Yeah. Support mages are something which we don't have a lot of, and a lot of people don't like them because they're not DPS mages. But with something like the tower coming, I think CC mages, support mages, anyone who's able to provide debuffs are probably going to be very key to bringing this down. This could be the time of Corrosa. I'm calling it now. Corrosa could be coming to global. I hope so, but they better tweak her just as well as they did Beatrix.
Yeah, now Beatrix. The Beatrix has had quite a lot done to her. So she has had her cost reduced from 22 to 19. So she has the same, what I like to call the Cratch attack range. So she's got this band attack, shotgun attack. and she was the same cost as Cratch. She's now cheaper than Cratch. She's been added to the Esotericist faction, so if you're running her in Esotericist team, she's going to cycle her ultimate even faster. Her ultimates is pretty low cost already, so it's 900. If you're taking 25% of that off, you're looking around 675-ish, so 650-ish. So that's going to cycle really, really quickly if she's in a Esotericist team. And that's actually comes down to 800 when she's fully skilled. So that's going to be cycling so quickly. The Dream Eater summon cooldown is reduced from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. After the death of a Dream Eater, the rage restored to Beatrix is increased to 3%.
Yeah.
And the maximum number of Dream Eaters is increased from 3 to 5. So that's really, really nice. She can have lots of these things on the field. And not only have they done that, they've given them unlimited range. So we previously only had Idril, who had a map-wide attack. This girl has it as well. And it has the... I mean, okay, Kriya had it, but Kriya's is slow and really situational and a real pain in the neck to get rolling. This is good. This can do some really big hits. I will jump over to the Mage promotion trial. No, it's not the most challenging stage, but it does show it off quite nicely. And you can do some other things with it. So during the final buff that she got, no, there's more. So during the ultimate, the hero's Dream Eater damage increase is changed to between 50 and 75%. After casting the ultimate, the Dream Eater's targeting range expanded to the entire battlefield. Okay, a Spirit Drain when allied summon spawns on the battlefield increases the hero's attack by 1%. So this gives her synergy with people like Kriya. It gives her synergy with people like Zaris. So you can use them together to get additional bonus damage from her.
But they changed this. One of the passives, though, they changed it that instead of her being dependent on how many summons there were on the field, she's automatically also get 10% attack, right? And then she builds 5 more on top of that. So she got a % boost on that, right? So she's doing a little bit more damage.
She basically, so this first sentence didn't exist. So they've now added that on top. So that's really good. So a flat increase of... And rather than have, so previously you needed, you could stack it up to 10 times. So you would still get a 10% attack bonus, but you needed other people to be doing stuff first. This gives her a start point of 10, and then you can increase it by another 5%. It's the same amount, but they've just accelerated the speed which she gets there, and that's really good.
Correct, right. The other big thing that I saw, besides, the Awakening's got a complete rework, but she was so high cost, right? So people were not even interested on using her. But now they reduced it by 3 originally, and now with your Awaken 2, you can even go 2 more. So now you're at 17.
17 so cost AoE Mage. This is really interesting.
Based on her range and how her summoners are supposed to work, I was thinking that they were trying to possibly, over time, give you another option in AoE Arena or something in that domain, right? Somewhere where you're going to lead a lot of AoE damage.
Yeah, I have seen a couple of people saying that War Guide did a video saying that he thought that Beatrix this rework Beatrix has potential in AoE Arena. And I've seen someone else do a showcase, a channel called Moonton's Favorite Guy, and he's done a showcase of AoE Beatrix in both a cultist and an esotericist team. Admittedly, he's done it in the trainer, but the principle is still the same, that there is teams that you can use with her is working alongside other units, and she's able to cycle her dream orbs really quickly. and just basically dominate the battlefield, especially with that map wide range.
All right.
Okay,
So that's the main point.
Yeah,
Awakens they really amplify.
Definitely, and also the fact that when she gets self-healing at A5, which is really saying you want to be using her in AoE arena, because there's so much incoming damage to the platform units that this is an opportunity. If you have her A5, you could just let her be there and not worry about healing. So you could bring in a Dao Chan rather than a healer and just let her soak up the damage, and her Dream Eaters are just like keeping her alive. So there's definitely some potential there.
Yeah, you can see the pattern now, right? With Beelzebub and Anora, and now her, it's just they're going to want to do something with that AoE, that summoner mechanic eventually. So it'd be interesting to see what we can do with Beatrix. So now I'm not gonna rush and give her my skill crystals yet. I'll jump in the test server and see what kind of play I can get out of her, but she's not going to be a priority until I know that she's breaking metas.
Yeah, it's always the way with these things, especially when when you've got all these interesting units to bring out. So there's definitely going to be some what you can do with your limited amount of resources.
Because war guides, yourself, myself, we could all postulate here. But if we there are two ways to think about this: is could she be at least enough to complement a mid-late game player that is trying to push in Plat 3, right, to complete the quests? Or are we talking about a mechanic that is completely changing how Apex and Overlord would change in Arena and not be solely relying on Ingrid? Which I would have a hard time believing that they would just say, after introducing that character and how overpowered she is, that they're just going to try to cast her aside. It wouldn't make any sense, right? Because any future banner where she might be coming into play, they're not going to make as much cash out of it, knowing that the meta is shifting. So, yeah, so...
Okay, so I'm going to rapidly building this lady up. Thought I had... Don't worry about it. So just finished gearing her. This is a bit of a scrappy gearing. I'm not paying too much attention. I'm just making sure I've got about crit tapped and we're ready to roll. But basically, it's the summon heroes we've got available to us.
It's a promotional raid. So
it's promotional raid extreme 2 on mages, and and just get Kriya in gear. So in fact, I don't care. I'm going to care so little about what gear she's going in. Quick equip.
Down the line, we're going to need an artifact that boosts summoners or does something with summoners, or you get an extra summon with extra attack or something like that.
So there are 2 pieces of exclusive gear, 1 weapon, 1 bangle, that add 8% to the unit that's got it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with Anora, which is criminally unfair. The poor girl needs to catch a break on that one. But yeah, there's definitely some potential for her to really sort of start doing things. Okay, so this is kind of like a bit of a career show to start with, but we get Beatrix up here and she just tears these guys completely to shreds as they appear. And as people start dying in her range, that's when she starts summoning her things. And they've got a short life, so they do burst on their own. She's doing her thing. We get Anora over here.
Did you activate that ultimate, or was that just a basic attack that did that?
That's I haven't activated her ultimate yet. So this is the ultimate, and here we've got 4 of these things on the go, and they just tear across the field faster than the crows. And then
all right, so
forth.
Theory crafting. So let's say we put her in the bottom tile, on the bottom map of Gear Dungeon 1. and we
Yeah.
just have the Psychophant start walking into her area, right? So
Yeah.
is this then theoretically then we then start doing damage to the Psychophants, we kill them, the summons comes out, right? And then they go and start rushing throughout the map, right?
Yeah.
So would that mean that they would start attacking the next wave of Psychophants that are coming out?
Yeah, they could attach the next
Theoretically.
wave of sycophants. They could go up to the top. They could help clear out at the top. They could go and take off the archers to relieve the pressure from someone else. So she's definitely got some potential there. Okay, I didn't play that stage perfectly because I didn't place people in quite the right places. I wasn't paying attention to the ultimate spice, but she was putting out enough damage, and the fact that she can attack all over the map is really, really effective. So yeah, definitely got some potential. I really wanted to spend some more time playing with her, but I've just been a bit busy trying to work on my Abyss teams this week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to skilling her up. She's next on my skill list after Lyra, who I'm having a lot of fun with at the moment. Who's also on a summon banner coming up.
Yeah, so my purpose, I think your Dungeon 1 would be one area that would want to test her in Arena, basically. But in Arena is how you set things up. And then this is the thing that we were talking about with Kai as well, right? And when he got his original buff. It's how are we going to place things to then generate costs, bring him in. Same thing with Beatrix. It's how you're going to generate costs, bring her in, when he can start doing the damage. Can she take advantage of the first wave so you can then start bringing other people, or is she the one that we're gonna have to wait to bring her in, right? Type of scenario. If she is indeed, if her summons are indeed doing this vast amount of damage, there is a little bit of promise in her in what she can do in other areas besides Arena. So I'd be interested to see that. That's probably where I'm gonna. My attention is gonna be more towards like Gear Dungeon 1, maybe AMR. How can she handle that? Giving her range, but how can she handle it? Can she eliminate things quick enough where those summons then have enough time to go cause havoc anywhere else in the map?
Yeah. No, it's definitely going to be interesting to do some more testing. I think, as you say, Gear Dungeon 1 is going to be an interesting place to use her, because if she can take things out before they start attacking people, then you don't need to worry about anti-heal because they're going to be dead. And that's going to make life a lot easier down the bottom. You could go one tank rather than two tank build. You can go, which means that you've got more units to place further somewhere else that you might be leaking. Yeah, and the fact that her cost has come down, and then at A2 it comes down even further, I think there's some real potential there. Okay, in terms of events, we know that starting this week we have the egg hunt. This is going to be an opportunity to get the Anora's skin, the Celestial Consort. It's not quite as racy as the mistletoe one that Lyra got, but it's similarly red themed, and it looks okay. I don't have access to it. If I manage to find an image of it from the Discord, I will put it up on screen above me during the editing, and you can look at it. So the summon event starts on the 17th, and there's going to be an opportunity to get artifact shards, and you can see all the spiritual altars for summoning. Jewel of champions there. One thing that's worth noting is obviously with the Anora banner you're going to have the opportunity to do summoning for the guaranteed 200, but remember that there is the Talin banner coming out on Friday, and you may want to try and do your pity manipulation with that. And there's lots of guides about how to do that. You summon up to a certain threshold on the secondary banner, and then you do your You then switch back to the primary one that you want to get, so the Anora banner, to keep pushing beyond that. So to try and get access to Talin as cheaply as possible, and still get Anora.
Yeah. So for example, if you are fresh pity and you start summoning an Anora banner, keep track, and if you start pushing 150, that's when I would consider going to the other banner, get that legendary, and then come back, and then the other legendary is only going to cost you at most 50, right, to get, and then you got 2 legendaries with that little span right there. So if the Anora banner opens up first, I would wait, don't rush it, and then just wait for that other specific banner to open up as well.
Yeah, and remember that the event that's associated with it runs for a couple of days, so you don't have to push it. And you've probably already got the heroes to push through it now with Kagiri and Sun Wukong, etc., to try and take these units out before they cause problems. Right. Sebastian, I don't know how you're doing for time, but potentially do we want to have a look at the tower?
Yeah, we can do
soon.
a quick preview. Did you want to make this a 2-parter, or do you just want to roll through the rest here?
There's not really much else to add. I mean, on the patch notes, there's some stuff about...
One thing about the patch notes, because they introduced this new feature with the attack planning, and essentially is going to be a way for you to set up your attack, run it, and if you're successful, then you can share with your guildmates. Your guildmates with the code are able to then transfer that over and theoretically auto fight, and then hopefully things go right. All right, number 1. If your affiliations are not correctly matching your partners or your guildmates, you're most likely to fail, right? Because there's a lot of things that you have to take into account, right? Especially if, let's say, you're getting somebody's copy that had affiliated 4 lords, your run is going to be a little bit different. So you have to keep that in mind, number 1. Number 2, as I've always told you, during any GvG tutorial that we've done, don't ever trust auto battle, because it is flawed, especially at 3.5x speed. So don't use it. So the way that I labeled this when I saw it and I introduced it to people is, this is the lazy man's guide to GvG. So if you want to be in a guild that does this, go for it. But in the type of guild that we are, I don't trust this. I don't want it. I don't want to be part of it. I ain't sharing anything.
I know one guy who has tried it, and so far he said that the auto battle doesn't work. It starts doing the first couple of seconds, and then it kind of kicks him into manual mode anyway. So it's not perfect. In its current implementation, it doesn't work right. As Sebastian said, the times 3.5 speed system is fundamentally flawed. It impacts all areas of the game, and it has done since the beta stages. And there doesn't seem to be any move from the devs to try and fix it in any way, because I think they're generating the data in real time for damage, and it's not. They can't go back and redo the calculations to make it work.
And as much as the few remaining players that are here in Forerunners kick and scream saying this thing does not work, they're still going to go roll it out in global as it is, and it's going to be buggy as hell, and people are going to be disappointed. So don't trust it, don't use it, don't bother with it. That's my recommendation.
Okay, Tower of Deception. So we will do a quick Tower of Deception preview we'll just do this as a quick 2-parter, because I think it is going to roll on to talk about that. So I will come back and talk about this stage just in that, but it launches on the 14th, so probably reset on Tuesday is when it will appear on the Forerunners server. Other things that they've done is they've increased mithril drop rate in Artifact Material Raid. If you are running anything 19 plus, mithril is not an issue. There is so much mithril at that stage, it's not. Demon Soldier rates in Drake's Chasm have been increased, but they don't say what percentage to. They don't say which stages it's across. Still need more information, Mountain. More information, please. Right, the big one. They've reduced the difficulty of defeating Abyss 1. Now, this doesn't mean they made it easier. What they've done is they've reduced the total health of the boss. Previously, you required over 600,000 blood on him to bring him down. Now they've taken a heavy axe to that and they've reduced it to a third of that. So you only need just over 200,000 blood in order to bring him down. You still need your guildmates to be doing a minimum of about 12,000 damage. So if they can get the first 2 chests and everyone's doing that, you should be able to bring him down. If you get more than that, you're guaranteed to start bringing him down more frequently.
Right. But exactly how Arturo's phrased it is how you should have written it in the patch notes, Buntan, in case you're watching, is you're not diminishing the difficulty of the level, is you're reducing the health of the boss to bring him down to severely injured. That confused people because they thought, "Ooh, it's getting a nerf already." No, it's not. It's not a nerf.
No, and I'm actually grateful they did it this way. The content should be hard. People wanted end game content. They got end game content. So you can't suddenly nerf it in that first week. Okay. Optimize the acquisition difficulty of certain demon soldiers. I think they've made this means that people like the necromancers are dropping more frequently. Because I've certainly picked up quite a few yesterday when I was doing a Guild Wars Gear Raid 1 challenge. And they've now added a nice quality of life feature to Gear Raid 3, which I need to go in and speed up my runs because you can now call the waves earlier. And so that means that you're going to be able to speed through Gear Raid 3 even faster because you're not going to have to wait for the waves. This could be a decision point because if you pull the waves in too soon, you won't have got your rage back, so you might make it harder on yourself. But anyway, this is a potential for... Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just bring Laurel. boost your rage. No, this should speed things up even more. Yeah, Gear Raid 3 is going to be a lot faster now.
Yeah. Laurel is the reason that we can't have nice things with bounce heroes. And I will say this again and again, and people will say, what do you mean? What do you mean? She has ruined bounce heroes for endgame content. Because now, every time you have to cycle a hero in and out, there is a time penalty. And it's just getting stronger and stronger to get around.
Yep, they painted themselves into a corner, and they had to come back with a mechanic to make sure that nobody used Laurel or Laya. Yeah. And then, they go in a direction, and then they repeat the process again. So it's all very, very Moonton to do. But all right, so that's pretty much the updates that everybody can look forward to, especially if you're in a guild right now in the global server that is really trying to get people to invest a lot of time into trying to bring down the boss. Is be patient, don't be kicking anybody out. Eventually the average that everybody's supposed to do will be coming down. So this portion hopefully comes in May or sooner, because they're definitely rolling out patches really quickly on the global. But in the main late April, May, early May patch, that should be one of the features.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a nice quality of life feature. The content is still hard. You've still got to think about your gearing and your team. One thing they really should do is do what they did for stage 9 of the artifact material ranges, which is have a separate team roster for that map, for that boss, because it's really frustrating to have to go in and then fight or change over the heroes from Nightmare 4 run. And then re-gear them all just to make sure that everyone's geared and everyone's got artifacts before you start your auto battle or start it again, rebuild again.
All right, folks. So part 2, we'll give you a little preview of the Tower of Deception from the test server. So we'll be right back with that.